What's happening, fandoms? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we react to music videos and shows. Today we're on The Expanse, Season 2, Episode 9, The Weeping Somnambulist. That's, Somnambulist is a sleepwalker, so the crying sleepwalker? We'll see, I suppose. In the last episode, we had the aftermath of Dawes kidnapping the scientist, the protomolecule scientist. I'll remember his name at one of these points. But definitely an interesting development that I did not see coming based on events from the books. Also, of course, the major deal was that fringe elements of the OPA attempted and very nearly succeeded in taking over control of Tycho Station. Drummer got shot. She hopefully is surviving this. I suspect she will. But thanks to the quick work of Holden and team, they did a nitrogen mixture trick on the bridge, knocked everybody out, and went in and took back over. Of course, Drummer executed a couple of those OPA goons on her way out the door. I don't know that she was wrong for doing it. So, yeah, very interesting. Also, something I did not see coming. A very interesting tactic that in the books I saw used much later in a completely different context, but in that context it failed because the people that they were trying to do the nitrogen oxygen mixture trick to saw it coming and fought it off. So it's cool to see that they've made use of that method here in this attack that frankly I didn't know would happen. I don't recall this ever occurring in the books anywhere. So this whole fracturing of the OPA storyline is something that's perhaps from much later in the storyline, or maybe from one of these side novels that I keep hearing about. There are novellas and other bits of writing that are not in the main storyline that apparently the authors are incorporating into the story where they want to, which is totally fine. I'm excited to see it. I have no idea what we're in for today. The stories seem to be moving in directions I cannot predict, so let's just dive into it and see what happens. Here we go. I think they modified that opening so that Tycho Station no longer has the Nauvoo docked at it being constructed. Very interesting. Weeping Somnambulist is the name of a relief ship. Okay.
Somnambulist as per MCR trade regulations.
Then why are they jamming our call?
That was Holden's voice telling them they were about to be boarded, I thought.
Time.
I don't know who these guys are. I thought I heard Holden's voice, but now I'm not so sure. They could be exactly what they say they are.
That's everything. You satisfied?
There's no one else on board. I assure you.
We're gonna have to
Is that Holden?
Wait. I know you.
It
I've
is.
seen your face
Okay. It
all over
is.
Sirius Station. You're James Holden.
What is it that they're doing here? Where's this dropship going? Oh, are we landed on Earth?
You searched my quarters?
Yes, I did. Because I have orders to follow too, and the defense minister wants you wearing this when you give your statement.
Interesting. She doesn't feel worthy
There's
of
a lot
it.
riding on you, Gunny.
Something like
Now is
that.
not the right time to go to war.
Yeah, she wanted to be dropping in a warship.
Thrusters off. Clear for disembark.
Okay, so drop ship straight to Earth.
All right, everyone. Those of you who've been here before will remember it's not a long walk to the embassy entry. Not here to give the Blues anything to laugh about.
Do not look up, because it'll scare the crap out of them. They're not used to unlimited sky. Yeah, the unencumbered sky is too much for some of them to handle.
They should have gotten long-range scans of the Eris impact site by now.
Just some preliminary atmospheric readings.
Arbogast is the
Nothing more.
science ship they sent to Venus, I
They
think.
haven't seen anything they didn't expect. I've been getting personal updates from Colonel Janice.
We should get going.
I'll be with you in a moment.
Okay, Kachar, what you...
You really believe he hasn't had any contact with Jules Pierre Mouse since Eros?
You tell me. That's your job.
Why is it spinning? Oh, okay, it's turning for deceleration.
What are you doing? I wanted to believe in magic.
Well, you know, that's normal for a child, right?
That's because children are stupid.
Oh boy.
When I grew up and I learned the real explanation for the stars, it became even more amazing.
Yeah, I have a feeling I know where you're going with this.
Colonel, we just picked up an MCRN ship in Venus orbit. I don't know why we didn't see this before.
Must be a stealth. From the drive signature, probably a destroyer.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
They were waiting for us.
They're not alone at Venus.
I was a friend of your cousin Doris. We worked together on Ganymede.
Okay.
She saved my life. She got me out of the station when the mirrors fell. She probably wouldn't have even been on the ship with me if she hadn't helped me.
Interesting. You kind of lied there.
So I want to say I'm sorry. She was a good person. And what she did for me. Never.
What happened to her was super messed up. I did not like that at all. Huh. I didn't know they were preventing him.
Amos!
He has no comms. Interesting. I guess they don't trust him yet.
And I have the right to know why. And I'm not going anywhere until you tell me.
Fight for yourself, Prax. There you go. Show some spine. I like it. This must be back on Earth.
Sorry we weren't able to land you at night and spare you the shock of our sun and sky. It's like riding a bike.
With tires made of lead.
Pleasantries aside,
It's
okay.
nice to be having an actual conversation instead of trading recordings for once.
It would have been even nicer if you had met us halfway.
Maybe you could tell them when our ships get to Jupiter. It won't take long.
We're looking forward to it.
Come on.
The reason
Quit
we're
your
here is to
saber
prevent
rattling.
a war. Let's start by remembering the fallen.
The restraint they showed when they destroyed 7 of our ships over Ganymede, we lost over 500 soldiers protecting a farm. Are there any other MCRN ships in the area?
No, sir. But with their stealth tech, there could be.
All hands make ready for Venus orbit.
Okay. And then here we are back
Dr.
on
Strickland pulled your daughter
the
out of the clinic
Rossi.
an hour before the battle started. If he's still on Ganymede and we find him, I believe we'll find your daughter.
You can stop pretending to care about my daughter.
What was Strickland treating her for?
She has a genetic disorder. Myroskeleton premature immunosensinosis. They're not quite sure what causes it.
That was a mouthful.
Developed a very serious spinal infection when she was 4 months old. That's why everybody goes there to gestate. Pediatric care is state of the art.
It's where the Belters go to have birth.
Exactly what was wrong. He gave her regular injections. He kept her alive.
We'll leave the Somnambulist once we dock, and then we'll intermingle with the locals.
And then?
And then we'll assess the situation and take it from there.
Your plan's always this vague?
This is about average.
You all must be very lucky.
We've certainly had our fair share.
Boy.
Hey.
If we leave the Somnambulist after we land, how are we supposed to get back?
Cavalry will come running. I will quietly deorbit, no burn, hug the surface, and we will rendezvous at one of these service airlocks here.
Interesting.
Pick you up, we'll strap in for a max burn up and out.
They give her a window. Oh, it's frosted. She doesn't feel like she deserves that Purple Heart. That's why she left it in her bunk.
We have brought in the lone survivor of the surface engagement. This
Here
is
we
Marine
go.
Gunnery Sergeant Roberta Draper. She will be giving you her account of the battle. And in the interests of transparency, you're welcome to examine her power armor as well. Sergeant Draper.
They brought her armor.
Sir?
Okay, good.
My fire team was assigned to patrol the MCRN Zone Bravo on Ganymede Station. They were closing in on us fast.
Is she gonna tell them?
We mistook a training exercise as an active engagement and opened fire without orders. As commander of the fire team,
Well, that's
the
not
responsibility
true.
is mine.
The battle on the surface is what precipitated the battle in orbit.
Thank you, Sergeant Draper.
Yeah.
We can't change what
Christian
happened, but
is
we can move forward
once
in the
more-
effort of peace. Ganymede Station is an important food supply outside of Earth and Mars.
Yep. More going on there than.
They didn't have to say all that crap about Travis. Why didn't you tell me they were going to say that?
Because I knew you'd react like.
Travis was a good soldier.
The hard part's over. You can relax now.
I agree with her.
You'll be going home soon. Try to focus on that.
No one's completely happy, but everyone comes out of it with something. You know what that's called?
Horse trading.
Diplomacy, I guess. I don't know. These guys are not happy about being taken over like this. Oh boy.
Cowboys.
Okay.
You too.
A little bit of a peace offering between Alex and Amos there. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. They can't.
Somnambulist. Docking bridge is clear.
They can't take the Rossi down there with
I'll
them.
be ready and waiting for your call.
We're going to need a statement from your government accepting responsibility.
You're not going to get one.
Never hurts to ask.
All right, then. So we're done.
One last thing. I'd like to speak to Sergeant Draper again. I want to speak with Sergeant Draper. Now.
All right. It begins. Love it.
Sergeant Draper, my family has a long tradition of military service. I'm sure yours does too. Did you know that the majority of people on Earth don't have jobs? They don't work at all. They live on basic assistance, which the government provides.
I did know that.
In this building, it's easy to forget.
With all due respect, madam, where are you going with this?
Where am I goddamn like? Travis's parents.
Wow.
They believed in your dream.
I don't know. He
Then why did he fire?
Well,
What was the reason?
We thought we were under attack.
Under attack? So you were fired upon?
No, he was trying to kill the enemy. I didn't even know what it was. Nobody did. He wasn't wearing a vac suit.
Sergeant Draper has been through a severe traumatic event.
Do as you've been instructed, Sergeant.
Wow.
Sergeant Draper, what made you open fire?
Ooh, are we gonna...
It was Travis. He panicked.
She went back to the storyline.
Thank you, Sergeant. That will be all.
Interesting. I don't think that will be all. There will be more.
The Martians are giving us a fair berth, but they've masked every one of our course changes precisely.
And of course, the time over which those signals might be detectable.
Interesting.
That's not an equation. That's just a big fat guess.
It suggests there are over 36 million advanced civilizations out there.
Maybe it's the nature of intelligent life to destroy itself.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
I think that intelligent life can choose not to.
More magical thinking.
Very likely.
Colonel?
Here we go.
Jesus.
Okay, go hide, Alex. Jupiter has over 50 moons. Damn. Now he's gonna be bored. And just sit there and wait. It's really not that big of a station.
Somnambulist, you are clear to dock.
I like Prax. I like the guy playing him too. Wow. Yeah, local muscle.
Yep. You're gonna like this, boss. Rice and beans and medical supply. Gonna be a nice haul.
I have to board one more ship named after some kid or girl who got left behind after a magic weekend on Titan. I might just shoot some people for general lack of creativity.
Oh no.
Thinking of naming her after her goldfish.
You're funny.
All right, we have a deal. We got company!
Ooh. Kind of thought this might happen.
They were gonna kill you. We had to do something.
All clear.
One of them, they got one of the ship owners. Another thing to rest on Holden's conscience.
Get off my ship! Go!
Yeah, well, I mean, both of them were gonna die if they didn't do that. It's sad. Yeah. I don't recall exactly how Holden got onto Ganymede. I think it was slightly different. I think we used another Tycho distraction ship. They were taking a load of supplies, much like this storyline, but it was an official OPA Tycho delivery, basically. They didn't have to take over a ship. But this way for them to get there is definitely very interesting, and it gives us the added emotional impact of Holden taking personal responsibility for basically the death of that one ship owner. Now, very likely both of those ship owners were doomed as soon as those thugs came on board their ship and commandeered it. They were not likely to let them live. But you can't know that for sure, and definitely this is something that Holden's gonna carry that weight. He's gonna hold on to that. Probably a lot of them are. Maybe Amos won't have to deal with it, but Prax is definitely not gonna be good with this. He's not used to this life of combat. In the books, our crew, the Rossi crew, didn't even meet Prax until after they landed on Ganymede. They met him while they were delivering these supplies with their little mercy mission that they were on. We met him a little early. They have him already as part of the crew before they get here, and they've discovered the plot line of the doctor with the daughter considerably earlier, which is why they're even going to Ganymede in the first place, which I think is fine. It streamlines things quite a bit. They know exactly what they're looking for right now. They don't have to mess around and find Prax. And there was a whole storyline where there was some sort of a hacker on board Ganymede that they paid off to help them track things down. I think all of that stuff will not be needed. They'll just immediately start exploring the security systems and to try and understand where Strickland, I think Dr. Strickland, I think that's the name, to figure out where he took the daughter. And so we'll be able to probably get straight to that in the next episode. I think it would be a pretty good season finale. I think next episode is the end of season 2. Not clear on that, but I'm pretty sure that we have one more episode in this season. So that would be a pretty good finale. There's some interesting stuff that happens there, and I'm excited to see it. Now, the storyline with Bobby being part of the Mars peace talks entourage, that's all very similar to the way things played out in the books. It's possible, likely, I think, even that we will get some more communication between Christian and Marine Draper. And Christian has latched on to the description of a combatant without a vacuum suit, and that's a very unusual thing for someone to say, especially if you're on the surface of Ganymede. It's impossible for a person to survive out there without a vac suit. So what is that? And we saw a glimpse of this creature, this monster, this being, in the episode where Bobby barely survived that fight. We didn't see much of it at all. We didn't see it in action. We only saw just a glimpse of it looking down on her as she laid there bleeding and dying. Not dying, but I mean, if they hadn't rescued her, she probably would have died. So we don't really know much about this thing, and we don't know how much Bobby remembers or saw of this creature, because we didn't witness what she experienced. We saw the very beginning of this fight, and then we moved away. The camera was elsewhere until the very end. So we don't have a first-person perspective of what occurred. Now, the fact that they brought Draper's combat suit and offered it up for investigation and so on is an interesting plot point. In the books, the combat suit had recordings and like basically body cam footage from that fight, and so we may yet see some evidence of what occurred there. I think, though, that given that the Martians were attempting to not let this piece of the story slip, they had to have massaged the data on that suit. They would have had to know what was there, and they would have to have taken out any pieces that were contrary to the story they were presenting. So I'm not sure if in this version we will actually see that stuff. They would have had to have redacted pieces that were contradictory with the tale they were telling. So yes, but we still have Bobby, and Christian knows Bobby has something more to say, and so I'm looking forward to that conversation. Very interesting to see the impact of the open sky. Imagine it would be even worse for Belters, who spend most of their entire lives inside of an enclosed either ship or station where there is no sky, and then you come to a place where you can step outside and it just goes forever. Very, very scary, I can imagine, and caused that one Martian delegate member to just immediately puke. Very interesting, because it would, over the long term, multiple generations of people, their minds growing accustomed to only interior spaces. You put them on a place like Earth and it's going to freak them out. And you could see Bobby trying to acclimate herself, trying to intentionally inflict that visage on herself from her little apartment. And of course, the defiance of her not taking the sunglasses and, basically tough guy in it. I don't need these crutches, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to walk the surface and I'm going to handle it. But you could tell that it still impacted her a little bit. Not as badly, of course, as the one dude, but still, it had an impact. Yeah, I think that's most of the major points that differed or departed. Definitely the hiding the Rocinante close by to Ganymede is the same. We need an exit. They need a way out. And it is likely to play out much like Alex described it. Touchdown, get them to a surface airlock, and blast from there. And I can't wait to see what we end up with in the next episode. I'm looking forward to this quite a bit. They revealed a little bit of what's going on Venus. We got our science ship there, and there wasn't much that they showed us, but there was more than they expected to see. They did not expect to see, I guess, signs of life, biologicals, down at the impact site, and yet they have. And obviously there's more to come from the Venus storyline. We will continue to see developments there, and I don't remember whether there were multiple ships at Venus observing the crash site. Probably there were. I'm imagining that was the same in the books. Definitely the science vessel is the same. We have a vessel there that's intended to observe and collect data about what happened. the fact that there's a Martian stealth destroyer there is interesting, and I'm looking forward to a particular activity amongst those ships in orbit. We'll see if it happens, and I don't want to jump too far ahead, but there's a pretty significant event that occurs to one of those ships in orbit, and I can't wait to see how it is manifested visually, because my goodness, it could be glorious. So I guess I'll leave it right there. Thank you guys so much for all the support and subscribing and liking the videos. It's definitely had an impact on our channel as we grow. We're so small, but we enjoy the growth. Thank you so much for all of that, and we'll see you in the next video.